And all of a sudden, I love it. You hear Manhattan, you hear the
I
horns
can
out
hear
there.
the horn.
Shut up down there!
The fourth head of hair I shampooed was Marilyn Monroe. So I'm massaging her hair, she's moaning, my mind's going crazy, I get an erection, forget about it.
Don't be serious all the time.
I'm not serious all the time.
You
I
need
want
to
to
laugh
be.
a little. You need to laugh. You need to laugh a little.
That's the reading of the book, that's the book.
This is the original Godfather by Mario Puzo.
So I get right in his face. I said, let me just tell you something, Mr. Brendo. If you get me fired, I'm gonna suck on your heart right here. You're gonna bleed out here today.
Heidi stands up and hits this button, and all of a sudden there's cannons shooting out at me.
So talk to me. Do you smell something?
I smell that Mary Jane? Is that what it's called?
Somebody's
Mary Jane?
smoking pot right now.
And remember, I'm his new uncle. You better subscribe, or you're gonna find a horse's head in your bed.
Hey everybody, and welcome to Buzz Talk Live. Tonight's guest is a bright young man, passionate about all areas of entertainment. Shane Vardanyan, better known as Shane V, has passionately studied every genre in cinema, which allows him to conduct these attention-grabbing interviews and develop outstanding content for his audiences. With his ambitious, self-driven spirit, he is a new face in Hollywood as a filmmaker and an interviewer. He attended the American Academy of Dramatic Arts and was recently featured in the magazine Famous and Savage. Shane started, he says, with his new show, According to Shane, last year, as he had the privilege to interview guests such as The Godfather star Gianna Russo, Golden Globe-winning actress Dre DiMatteo, and Oscar-winning scriptwriter Nick Vallelonga. A few weeks ago, Shane released what is now his most notable project thus far, a documentary about the life of former boss Michael Franzese. Shane is here tonight to discuss to us about his new career as an entertainer and as a filmmaker. So please chat and welcome Shane V to Buzz Talk Live. Thanks for joining me on Buzz Talk Live,
That's
Shane.
my pleasure, George.
And I know it's later out there by you. You're in Hollywood, correct?
Yes, Los Angeles.
Los Angeles, great. So I'm going to start off with the obvious. My God, you're young, you're impressionable, and you have a passion for what you do, and at such a young age too. I mean, that's what really impressed me when I reached out to you and got you on the show, because again, for your age, you got it all together. How did this all start? I mean, it started a couple of years ago, but where did this passion come from?
Well, it's definitely not a simple answer, and I appreciate the kind words you said about me, and I appreciate you reaching out to me. I'm very thankful for that. But in some ways, the question you asked doesn't really have a simple answer, and I've been very, very fortunate with the way things have worked out for me and the opportunities I've had. But it started off, I want to say, when I was around 13 years old.
Really?
So like 5-6 years ago. Yeah, I saw this movie called The Godfather. And, after I saw that movie, I just, something in me clicked where I was like,
Right.
Wow,
Right.
my life needs to do, I have to somehow, some way be involved with movies and entertainment, and after that, I just basically studied all genres of cinema and, got deeply into movies, and studying movies is the reason why I've been able to do anything that I've been able to do.
Sure. No, look, the Godfather is a very impressionable film. One of the best films ever made, if you really consider it. And I mean, Godfather 1, hands down. And then any remake they do at any film is just crazy, and they're searching for something. But then you went to the school, the American
Academy of Dramatic Arts. Yeah.
And you got the bug. And now, are you originally from California?
Oh yes, I'm born and raised in Burbank, California.
Oh, okay.
I've been here my whole life. I'm at heart, I'm an East Coast guy. I love New York City. I love Miami. But my family's here. A lot of my friends are here. And, I have some work here. So, I'm here. Hey,
the roots are in the West Coast, left coast, however you want to identify it. And that's great. I mean, you're right in the thick of things there in Burbank and TV world and everything, and the studios. And
oh, yeah. It's so funny because a lot of I never looked at it like this when I was very young. To me, Burbank is just this boring little town that really has not too much to do. But, as I got older, I look back, some of the originals, some of my real idols, Johnny Carson, Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, those guys, they all did so much in Burbank. Johnny Carson, 5 minutes away from my house, NBC Studios, did The Tonight Show. Frank was always there. Dean Martin was always there. A lot of the Rat Pack guys were always there.
Right.
A lot of Warner Brothers was here. Universal is very close. So a lot of those roots are, 10 minutes away from me. If every single time I pass by any of those lots, or if I'm in the studios area, it's a very special feeling for me. Yeah.
I noticed because of some of the content that you've been putting out, this according to Shane, YouTube show, it's only a year old, and you've been having some really heavy hitters to interview on that show. And so, but they, you've how can I say this? You've interviewed people that are in a line of the same.
I know what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying.
I know
The Sopranos, exactly. The Godfather. So it has a continuing theme here, Shane.
Yes, yes, it does,
but
it
that's
does.
okay. I'm Italian. I can handle it. You know.
Yeah, of course. And I'm not. And I'm not Italian.
And you're
so-
not Italian. What nationality are you?
I'm actually Armenian.
Armenian. Okay.
I mean, so I'm Eurasian, you could say. It's
Yeah.
close to Russia.
Yeah. No, it's good food. Good food over there.
Oh yeah, when we get together, we'll have a nice Armenian.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, getting back to the interviews, and we're gonna talk about your your documentary that you shot too, which was great. And so you started this a few years ago, and you got your feet wet. You got the bug. And so, you've conducted these interviews with these people, and they were. How did that all come about? I mean, were they receptive? Did you reach out? And
Oh yeah. So again, this is a long story, and just because of they're long stories, just because of the way everything works out in my life and how unorthodox, I should say, the steps I've taken, I've always been, and how little things just lead to
well, that's a good thing.
Things. Yeah. So it's and you also mentioned that they're mob related interviews up until this point. Most of them have been, and it's because I was a major fan of The Sopranos.
Sure.
That TV show also got me into acting. I was watching a TV show, actors acting, James Gandolfini's, and that, I guess, attracted me very, very much so to that show. And the first guest I tried booking was a wonderful man with the name Chris Caldovino, who played Frank Vincent's brother in The Sopranos. Sure. A wonderful person, a talented actor, artist who gave me my start when I was only 16 years old. Not a lot of people would trust their name right here, right? There we go.
Yeah, there he is. Yeah.
Up, Chris. The first time I'm ever, performing in front of a camera. Not a lot of people. Yeah. Not a lot of people would have trusted, a 16-year-old with their name, just like Sal did.
Yeah.
Chris, I guess he agreed to do it. And, after that, it was Sal the Voice.
Yeah.
And Sal the Voice is a very interesting story, and Sal is just, again, one of the best. Sal is one of the best people, again, that I know, that gave me my start. And the story of how I met Sal is just as interesting. I found out that Sal was gonna be at a club in West Hollywood. So I go over to that club, and I'm like 17 years old. I'm 16 years old. And I go in front of the door. It's a comedy club. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to go in. That's it. Saw the voices behind the door. I'm going to introduce myself to him. I've been following him for a long time. And the bouncer's just like, hold on there.
Right.
Hold on, little guy. How old are you? I'm 17. I'm turning 18. Yeah, good luck. You got to go. I'm like, oh shit, I turn around, and as I turn around, I see Sal the Voice's car parked, and one thing goes through my mind: if his car is there, he's eventually gonna go, get in his car, right?
Right.
And I knew it's his car, just because you don't see a car like that in Los Angeles with Italian flags on it and a New York license plate that says "My Way." A Cadillac 1985. Is that right?
Oh, yes, My Way. Is My Way.
Yeah, My Way. My Way. Or his
oh,
plate.
That's awesome.
He has the Italian bell pepper. I'm like, okay, this is not anyone from Los Angeles. This is Sal the Voice. And if his car is here, he's gonna get in his car. So what do? I say, all right, you gotta wait in front of the car as long as it takes, And I ended up waiting a couple hours in front of the car until he eventually came, and I guess I took a big risk, walked up towards Sal, and Sal said, yeah. And, I'll be thankful to Sal. And we have a great friendship up until this date with Sal.
That's awesome.
And I'll be thankful to him for, again, trusting a 16-year-old to do this.
Well, look, everybody's been young once, right? And you know, I'm sure he probably struck a chord, you know, in his thoughts about, you know, giving a shot to somebody that's young and somebody like yourself, you know, has the passion, you know, to get out there and to get into somebody's face like that in personal space and ask, you know. I mean, not too many people would do that. You know, they would shy away and whatnot, but you took the bull by the horns, as they say.
Yeah, and I just I got lucky. I got lucky with the way the situation ended up.
Right. Sure. Absolutely. I mean, and then, you know, I always feel like, you know, you do one of those interviews like that with a principled person like himself, and then it for some reason it just snowballs. And is that how that happened with you know, the Dre DeMatteo and Nick and did you have...
so from what you're at, just to make sure, what you're asking is, once you get someone that's a little bit more notable, it's easier to book someone that's even more notable.
Sure.
Okay. So
yeah,
I think that's true in some ways, because when you're reaching out to someone, you have a little bit of credibility, you know?
Right.
And as you know, you're in this business, reaching out and booking is the hardest thing, a part of this whole thing.
Sure.
And I spend hours a day on booking, and you know, it's very, very difficult. But you know, when you do get a couple of notable names under your belt, the process gets a little bit easier, I want to say.
Yeah. Now I noticed that you have like a studio set up, and you do one-on-ones. I mean, for myself, you know, I'm still in the virtual space. One day I'll have a couch, but we're in a virtual space right now.
Of course.
But how did you pull that one off?
Here we go. And this is another, you know, I can't do this without thanking them. Infinity Media Production. I owe those people my life. You know, they gave me the start. They saw some, you know, they're pretty much family to me.
Yeah.
And, you know, just like all these interview candidates, they saw, I guess they saw something in me, and they allowed me to use their space, and their, you know, they gave me their full support, and nothing I've done and nothing I will do or anything that I may or may not achieve in my life will all be credited towards Infinity Media Production.
Absolutely. Yeah. You got to give thanks because, you know, people, again, they take a chance and because of your age, but you know, I think you got the chops and as to do this, and you know, from what I watched, and who you interviewed, you know, they've taken a liking to you, and it came across pretty well on camera, and yeah, so I mean, and then you got, you know, like these meetups and stuff. I mean, that a Bronx Tale up at the top there, and you got little Burt Young over there. Look at you with Burt Young.
That's Burt Young. Burt is awesome. I love Burt from Rocky.
He's great. Yeah,
Chinatown. The list goes on. Once Upon a Time in America, and you know, he's just a great man, and you know, you could call him a legend.
Yeah, certainly is, man. He certainly is.
Pleasure. Big pleasure.
Yeah.
Privilege.
No, and a Bronx Tale. And so, talk to me about the Bronx. This is the cast of characters that are all grown up now, right? Is that right?
Yes, pretty much. Yeah, that's the gentleman with the white polo in the front. That's C.
Okay.
Lilo Brancato. He again.
Right.
Great guy. You know, he treated me very, very well. You know, Joseph D'Onofrio.
Yeah.
I forgot the what was his name?
Well, they were part of that scene where they were like all hoodlums there on the corner. Yeah.
Yes, they are, and they're all great people. They treated me so well.
Yeah.
Everyone, I've been so lucky because everyone has treated me so well. And it's, again, I'm thankful to all of these people, especially in the beginning.
Yeah. So look, now talk to me. We have, look at you, the Irishman, you know, Kathleen Narducci and Dre DeMatteo. These were these were interviews that you done, and I'm going to run the Dre DiMatteo clip here in a minute, and this is fascinating because she's hysterical.
Oh,
Dre.
yeah.
Dre's hysterical.
Oh yeah.
How did the interview go with Catherine?
Oh, with Catherine, great person, great lady, very talented actress. When I went up to her and look at the suit I'm wearing, I just stand up the face.
You're breaking up a little bit there, Shane.
So I went up.
Your Wi-Fi is a little
good
weak.
now?
It's okay.
Am I good now?
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Can you see me? Is everything good?
Yeah, no, everything. I hear you and see you.
Okay, good. So I was talking about, for some reason, I just wanted, I guess, in an event like this, I wanted to stand up so I could land interviews better. So I don't know. I just decided to wear a 3-piece suit, and when I went up to Catherine Narducci, she was like, "You're young. You're little Luciano. You're Luciano." She started calling you little Luciano.
Luciano.
And yeah, Charles Luciano, and I just, I spent a moment with her, and we decided to sit down and film a little interview, which was, again, great pleasure doing so. And then after that came the best, the Dre DiMatteo interview.
Yeah.
Dre DiMatteo experience, not the interview. I'm not gonna call that an interview.
Well,
that's not an interview.
Is that an interview? No, it's more like she was like beating you up. Let's run the clip, and this is hysterical. Check it out.
Okay, so we are back, and this is going to be the end of this crazy, crazy journey. And you probably don't recognize this setup, but we are here with the one and only Miss Dre DiMatteo.
Hi, Shane. You better not edit this. I want this to air exactly the way it is. No editing allowed. How old are you?
17.
No editing allowed. Don't around, Shane. Are you Italian?
No.
What are
Close.
you?
Armenian.
You're beautiful. You look like a nice ginzaloon.
Well, likewise.
By the way, I'm going to kill this guy. I'm going to tell you why. Because the convention is over, my kids want to go home, and he comes over and says, "Can we film?"
Okay, now you're making me feel really
she
bad.
She wants to stay, though. So here we go. Shane, what's happening?
I don't know. You created
Where's
this.
my babysitter? I don't even have a babysitter. You caught me when my handlers left the room.
But we just filmed the craziest show I've ever filmed in my life. All right, well,
Hey,
thank you.
Shane. You don't have to control everything, bro. Sometimes you just gotta breathe and let things be what they are. Sometimes things are better than what you planned.
Yeah.
And this episode is better than what you fucking planned.
I'm pretty sure.
Don't be serious all the time.
I'm not serious all the time. I want a big show.
You need to laugh a little. All right, Shane, I gotta go.
All right, I gotta go too. I honestly gotta go too at this point.
I was done. I was overwhelmed.
Oh my God. And that's not planned. I mean, none of that stuff. I mean, that's all ad-libbed and.
No. That is none of that. In most of my interviews, I don't really go off a script. Nothing like that.
Yeah.
So
no,
that was just, in the moment, I was as much as in shock as people who were watching it were, and I pulled it off a little awkwardly, but it was just 12 hours straight. I've been filming every day, and that was the last one, right when things wrap up, and I'm sitting down, and Dre is just all over the place, and she's hitting me. I don't know what she's doing. Their kids.
She got you good, man. She got you good.
Almost knocked me out.
Yeah, no, she got you good.
Oh, it's all good.
God. And I mean, look, you do research on who you're interviewing. Obviously,
of course,
you have a script or some notes to go by, and because they're accomplished. These people are accomplished, award winning. Golden Globe, and it's kind of freaky. I mean, because you go into these interviews and it's almost like you popped right into the fire there, with all these people, and they're very receptive, and she was so nice and very
nice.
Very cool.
Lovely person.
Yeah. No, I mean that's great. And that's what That's what makes it easy. Because if someone it was not that way, yes, no, and that makes it harder on you as the interviewer. And so it's always best to have a conversation, kind of like what we're having right now.
Yeah.
Hey, so you were featured. Look at you again, featured in this Famous and Savage magazine. And how did this? My God. Well, I mean, look, you're out there. You're out there on the left coast. Anything's possible. But how did?
Yes.
I mean, did somebody write a piece on you, or how did this all happen?
This is actually my So we became especially better friends after this. Jamal Antar, he's an actor and an entrepreneur, an artist out here in Los Angeles, and he got his own magazine company, and they're writing magazines on people. And Jamal reached out to me and he said, we want to write something about you on one of the pages in this magazine. And I said, of course, Jamal Antar, great guy, great friend. Credits to him and his Famous and Savage team for putting me in there. And it's I guess it's cool to see yourself in a magazine, I guess.
No, it is. And
actually,
and
let's see if I have it right
you
here.
you got it?
Yeah,
that's great.
We got magazines here, and this is
yeah,
Jamal himself. And
that's Jamal. Okay.
Yes, this is Jamal, and
nice.
look at him in the pink suit. He put me on page, right here, 61. And,
wow, nice.
I guess it's just cool to have in the house.
Yeah, look, I mean, anything like that's great publicity for yourself. It gives you a leg up on certain things, and that could lead to bigger and better things. And and again with the theme of this whole mob theme, and you said it yourself that you're a big fan of The Sopranos. So now you find yourself at The Sopranos house in New Jersey.
Oh God, yes. I was a much younger guy right there. I was probably like 15 years old, and I'm wearing a Marlon Brando shirt. That's Marlon Brando.
Marlon Brando. There you go. Yep. Right behind me. Marlon Brando right behind me.
Oh, there he is. We've got
yeah. I got Marlon Brando hanging on my wall. Yes, I mean, that house is probably most visited house in New Jersey. And that's great. I can just picture Tony coming up the driveway right now with his SUV, right?
Yep, or his robe.
Or his robe, right?
Yeah.
Again, some of these interviews that you've done, accomplished interviews. Nick Vallelongo, I mean, from the Green Book.
Yes,
Academy Award winner.
Academy Award winner. Nick Vallelongo, great person. I mean,
yeah,
very, very easy to talk to. He's he's supporting me. He's giving me the opportunity, and he doesn't have to. He's an Academy Award winner. He doesn't need my interview.
Exactly.
So, I guess pure good heart.
Yeah, I mean, look, some of these folks, they know what it takes to climb the ladder of success, and especially at your age, you're starting out doing what you're doing, and they're supporting you. Plain and simple. They're supporting you. They like you. You come across very well, very respectful, and look at you. And Gianni Russo from The Godfather, right? And if nobody knows or remembers who Gianni is, Carlo. Right?
Carlo, the infamous brother-in-law, and Gianni.
That's right.
One of the craziest characters, the coolest characters in the world. And they're making a movie about his life now.
Are they?
Yeah, I mean, Gianni Russo is much more. Gianni Russo, at least, the least of his, I guess, resume is that he's an actor. He's been much more than that. I mean, the guy pretty much put himself in The Godfather without ever acting.
Is that right?
He's never acted. This is his first acting credit. He was not an actor. He was literally not an actor. He was working for Frank Costello as a young, guy coming out of a polio hospital because he was in quarantine.
Right.
Because he had polio. 5 years he did quarantine. He finishes that up and he goes straight to pretty much, working for Frank Costello. Connected. He wasn't a mobster, but he worked for a mobster, and
Sure.
through his charms and his wits and through his hard work and dedication, like myself, just the burning desire that he had, he put himself in what would be one of the greatest movies in the world, sharing the screen, as you can see right there on the bottom, with probably the greatest actor to ever live. Some would argue. So I guess it just shows that everything is possible.
I would say he's top 5.
Marlon. Yes, Marlon Brando. Of course, he's top 5 for sure.
Yeah, I mean, just given what he's done. But as far as Nick and these interviews that you've done with these folks, I have a clip here. I put them back to back just to show a sample of your interviewing skills and how you create a rhythm in an interview and discussion. So check it out.
You're going to be running Hollywood soon.
Oh,
This kid. Watch out for this kid.
So we are back with another Green Book star, and this is Mr. Nick Valonga. First of all, I just want to say it's an honor to shake your hand.
It's an honor to shake your hand.
Thank you. Green Book was one of my favorite movies of our time within the past couple of years, and Mr. Valonga won an Oscar for that movie, for writing the screenplay.
Let's get it correct. I won 2 Oscars.
He won 2 Oscars.
We're going to talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
I wrote the screenplay and I produced it, so I got Best Picture Oscar as well.
He got the Best Picture Oscar and the screenplay. I want to ask you, what motivated you or what inspired you to write this movie about your father and about this story?
Well, I knew the story my whole life. I lived it, and I was very small at the time, but I remembered it happening. And then when I got older, I would ask my father about it. We got into more detail, and when I got really of age, like in my early 20s, I said, I want to make a movie out of this one day. So I started interviewing my father, interviewing Don Shirley, and one of the things was Don Shirley said, I don't want you to make this till whenever I pass away, whenever that may be. So luckily he lived a long life, and by coincidence, him and my dad both passed in 2013.
Rest in peace.
And then it was after that I started seriously trying to get it done.
And it was such
His
a big
teacher was Marlon Brando.
The legend. If you did not know Frank Costello, your life was going to be different.
And if I didn't have polio, it would have been different. If I didn't get a radio, I would have never met Sinatra.
These little things and these little connections led you to where you are today and what you have achieved.
The 4th head of hair I shampooed was Marilyn Monroe. So I'm massaging her hair, she's moaning, my mind's going crazy. I get an erection, forget about it. And I almost got fired, as you know, with Brando. So I get right in his face. I said, let me just tell you something, Mr. Brando. Pay attention to what I'm going to tell you. If you get me fired, I'm going to suck on your heart right here. You're going to bleed out here today. That's the reading of the book. That's the book.
This is the original Godfather by Mario Puzo.
That went Sinatra, Sammy Davis, G. Martin. Opened my club. This is the last picture ever taken of Marilyn Monroe alive.
Oh my God, and that's you in the picture.
That's me. And remember, I'm his new uncle. You better subscribe or you're going to find a horse's head in your bed.
So, yes.
You're going to find a horse's head in your bed if you don't subscribe to your channel.
Yeah, of course. I hope since we started the stream a little bit late, I was on mute. I had to yell at a couple people to stop bothering me. I hope.
Oh yeah, that's a. Hey, you know what? After tonight's FUPA here, I got a new background. We got streaming issues. We got people walking in the shot. Hey, look, I'm just glad that we're on the air and we're doing this.
Absolutely. And again, Gian Russo, going back to him a little bit.
Yeah.
One of my favorite people that I pretty much like as a family member. I just got off the phone with him an hour ago before this, so I'm keeping in touch with them. He's a big supporter of mine. He introduced me to Nick Valonga.
Oh wow!
He set that up, yes, of course, and he's just a wonderful man. Who's everything he's done for me, he's done it for my own good without him gaining anything in return. So I owe him.
Sure. Yeah, no, look, I mean, he's a character, you know.
He is. That's what I like. That was what attracted me so much to him. I had a big desire after I saw him on Valuetainment, you know, and after you hear his story and, you know, how our stories are somewhat similar.
Right.
It was a dream of mine to just shake his hand. And, you know, I got to work with him a little bit there, and I plan on working with him in the future. So
yeah, absolutely.
One of the biggest, you know, it makes me very, very happy.
Hey, I gotta ask, as far as your family, anybody in your family in the business, or is it
nobody is even close to being in the business in my
really?
family.
So you're trailblazing, huh? You're
pretty much. Yeah, nobody, no entertainment background whatsoever. No artistic backgrounds over here whatsoever.
So you're a cinema junkie. You're out there and you're watching these films, and obviously, you know, the Godfather rings obviously the most, I think, the most watched and best film ever made, because
Possibly,
it really, I think it is.
It could be
arguably. But another big personality that you've interviewed is he goes by Big Time Tommy, and this guy, you know, talk about a character.
He is the character.
He is the character for sure, and he's I love this guy because he reminds me of my times back in the 80s and stuff like that, and his whole way and everything. Fascinating individual. Big Time Tommy, there he is.
Big Time Tommy, me and Tommy on Fifth Avenue,
right
New
there.
York. Cool experience. Enjoyed every second of doing that.
Yeah. And that interview was I have a clip here. We're going to watch it. That interview was in a hotel or of some sort?
Yeah, we did it in a hotel, yes. Our cinematographer, our friend's cinematographer set up everything very nice out there in New York.
Yeah.
You know, in the hotel room, and we very cool experience just sitting down with Big Time Tommy. Kicking it back in a hotel room.
Well, I got a clip here. There's more to the clip to see, but here's the taste of a little Big Time Tommy with Shane V.
And then all of a sudden, I love it. You hear Manhattan, you hear the
I
horns
can
out
hear
there.
the horn.
Shut up down there! I am, what's that word?
Unapologetic.
Thank you, Shane. So,
Dictionary. I'm a dictionary today. And you make the big announcement.
And the big announcement is, I'm running for president. And I says, I don't know how to f***ing fish. I think that it's amazing.
Hey, you can't light that in here now, okay?
I can't?
I gotta work in this place. Put it back.
Not even a little bit?
No.
You sure?
We'll take that later outside.
Mini version of Jimmy Fallon right here.
That's the biggest compliment I could get.
So, talk to me. Do you smell something?
I smell that, Mary Jane? Is that what it's called?
Somebody's smoking pot right now. This is what it's all about. Old school music, old school vibe. You gotta love it.
Oh my God. Yeah, big time.
Big Time Tommy in the house.
Big Time Tommy in the house.
That's what was said. And again, just a cool experience. Happy to have done it, you know.
And as far as him being receptive to your interview, he to give a little background, I mean, first of all, he's pretty big on as an influencer on Instagram and social media. That kind of like blew up on him. But he was also part of Sal the Voice's parade there on America's Got Talent.
Yeah, it's all true. Yeah, Tommy's a pretty big following on Instagram. You know, he has around like 400,000 followers, which is, you know, compared to the average person.
absolutely.
A lot of followers. It's not easy. You know, it's never that easy to get that many followers. You know, that means something about you. You're doing something right.
Right.
You know,
right.
Some people find something attractive about you, you know. And yeah, Sal, Tommy, you know, those guys were people I really enjoy as an entertainer, you know, because, you know, I consider them both entertainers. You know, watching them, I felt, you know, it was just when I saw them on AGT, they were both so cool to me. And the fact that you could say, worked with Sal and Tommy, you know, 15-year-old me would have been really, really, you know, excited, you know, to know that, you know, within a couple years, you're going to work with both of these guys that you really look up to, or, you know.
Sure.
And Steve Morano, who's Tommy's agent, you know, set that up. You know, thank you to Stevie Boy Productions. You know, if he watches this, thank you, Steve. And you know,
yeah. No, he's good. And you know, just as far as, you know, these interviews kind of set you up for one of your biggest interviews to date, which you turned into a little film, right? A documentary.
Yes. And with you know, it was a collaboration project with another young filmmaker from Boston. You know, Anthony DeColodero. Him and I collaborated in this project together, and you know, we brought it to life. Michael Franzese, ex-mob boss.
How did you get? I mean, I know. Did you reach out to his people?
I reached out to his team. Yeah, to his team. I reached out to Michael's team.
Yeah. And again, you know,
he's in California.
Oh, he's in California. You know, taking an interview with yourself. I mean, you know, he can find himself on other shows and whatnot. But and again, you know, not to you know, as far as not knowing you and taking a chance, especially with a documentary, that's a big deal.
It is, yeah. And you know, sitting down with Michael was pretty surreal. You know, if you think back to what this man has done and, you know, where he's from and his story, I mean, $10 million a week. You know, his father, another major figure in the mob world. He was a major figure in the mob world. And,
you
know, I don't want to say I'm not interested in the mob world anymore, but I didn't do this project, believe it or not, because he's a mobster. I did this project, or was a mobster. I did this project because because of an interesting story and a motivational story where look at who he was, look at his backstory, look at the people around him, you know, even his close family members, look at how they ended up, and look at what this individual managed to do. How he did a 360.
Yeah, he really did.
Turn it all around, and now he's a survivor.
Yeah,
the fact that he's a survivor is not normal. He shouldn't be alive if you think about it. You know, it's considering, or the fact that he's not in jail and he's not dead means that this man really got his act together and really put some wise, you know, made some wise decisions, took some really wise steps, some very hard steps.
Sure.
And, you know, he did it. You know, I'm not, again, I don't look at this as a documentary about the mob. I look at this more as a documentary about America and it's an interesting story about a man, you know.
All right, that's a good setup for the clip that I have. And this is just, I mean, how long is the running time of the documentary?
So the documentary was around, when it was filmed, it's more than an hour long. But we cut it down to make it into a shorter film.
Right. Right.
And it's around 29 minutes long.
Wow. Okay. And it's packed with a lot of goodies and a lot of information about this man. So let's take a look at this incredible documentary. Here we go.
Since 1931, 5 families have run New York's Italian-American mafia. The names are familiar: Bonanno, Lucchese, Gambino, Genovese, Colombo. Could another mob war be brewing?
The mentality behind one of the mafia's most influential figures begins in a place directly built by money from organized crime. Michael Franzese is one of few survivors of a life in which he had no intentions of being a part of. In a city of illusions, how could I see Michael Franzese not as a mob boss, not as a goldmine for film scripts, nor as a magnet for clicks or other vile content, but to see him as a man who had done all he could in order to live with the choices that he made. Michael went to jail, and Vegas became gentrified. How would Michael feel being in such a different city than the one he remembered, as he himself also changed the dynamic of his representation, much like how Vegas did? He is successful and wealthy, however devoid of the life that gave him everything. But in the end, that same life took everything away from him.
Well, listen, I had a lot of perks, I made a lot of money, and, I had a jet plane, I had a helicopter, I had a house in Florida, New York, California. I had a big crew around me, and, we had a lot of good times. I mean, the camaraderie among the guys that I had was very special to me. There's nothing like this brotherhood with men. I got your back, you got mine. Wherever you go in the world, there'll be somebody, a brother there to greet you, and be by your side. I mean, that's very powerful. And I enjoyed that.
Yeah, no, I mean, and that's just a little sample of the documentary. It's great.
Shots. Big shout out to Anthony DeClodro for capturing those shots and, for, collaborating with me on this. And, it was a clear collaboration and, couldn't have been done without the teamwork that was put towards making this project into what it became. And I'm very happy, you could say, with the result.
Yeah, no, it looks great. I mean, the way it was shot and location, and
Las Vegas,
the writing is on mark, and you got everything in there, and it's a great interview. Anybody wants to check it out, I think it's up on your According to Shane, right?
Yep, all you do is According the number 2 Shane, all together, no spaces.
Yeah, According to Shane. Look him up on YouTube there. Great interview. And so what do you got coming up next? Where's it all go? Where's it all go for you next? Are you turning 19? What?
Oh boy. Oh boy, George, if I wish I knew how to answer that question. Maybe you can answer it for me. What is going to happen next?
Let me see. I don't know. You're in Burbank. I see TV in your life. I don't know. I mean, my God, you have you have a couch. You have people. I don't have these people.
That's all I've got at the moment. So, I mean, you know what? Just working hard every single day in order for me to be able to continue this and to make this into a full-time career.
Right.
And to, later on transition all of this into actual filmmaking with the people that I'm meeting doing this. And, I really like, one of my favorite things to do is just conversing with people. That's why I enjoy something like this so much, and to express certain opinions and to dig deep into certain topics that people usually wouldn't. That's why I enjoy doing interviews so much. And when you combine that with filmmaking, that's my favorite thing in the world. There's nothing in the world that can make me happier than that. It really can't.
And at such a young age that you got into film. I mean, you studied film and you got the bug. You got the bug, and you're in the right place for that. And with the circle of friends that you make, and with the people that you meet along the way, I foresee having your own show. You have your own show now, but I think it's going to take off, and I think that would you have the passion. That's number one, is the passion. If you don't have the passion to do something, then you're defeated, before you even started, Of
course, yeah, absolutely. I'm not really in this for the money or anything like that,
Exactly.
This is what I want to do, and something that I always say is live your life where, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Wednesday, Friday doesn't matter, because when you love what you're doing every day and you're excited,
you don't work a day.
That you do not work a day. You actually you enjoy it all, and I'm slowly, I guess you could say, approaching that, and and that's one of my biggest dreams in life, is that to be able to do this as a full-time career and to be able to grow this as much as possible.
And I plan on, making a mini series of documentaries like this with people with interesting, stories. And, I plan on continuing to do the interviews. I've learned, I haven't gone to school for any of this stuff. I've learned it from my idols, everything I've learned from filmmakers like Martin Scorsese, Stanley Kubrick, David Fincher, Alfred Hitchcock, Christopher Nolan, Quentin Tarantino,
all the good ones.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, no, there's a lot more, of course. The Coen brothers.
Of course.
List goes on and on and on. And everything I've been able to do is just by looking at the work of these people, and in some ways, trying to follow in their footsteps because, they're good, they're successful, and it's worth doing what they've done.
And so, people can look you up on Instagram at Real Shane, right?
Yep, that's it. Just very lucky with this username, Real REAL. Shane,
yeah. How is that not taken? Jeez.
I have no goddamn idea. I have no idea. I just did it as a joke. I tried putting that to my username as a joke because I knew it was gonna be taken. Like, it's not like there's no way that it wasn't, and it's like, okay, this is your username.
Wow, that's cool. That's very cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's
good, man. So, hey, look, you know what? You got to keep at it, right? Your passion's going to weigh through, and good things are going to happen for you, I'm sure, because you got your youth on your side, my friend, and I think you position yourself wisely. You listen to the right people, and those people help you along the way. They take a liking to you, and I think that that a lot of doors are going to open for you. You'll see.
George, I wish all the same for you. I really thank you so much.
Thank you.
I really appreciate you giving me the opportunity to, I guess, tell my story here.
Yeah, no, look, and the story it keeps going.
Yes,
the next chapter, wherever that may find Shane V, and that's where that's going to happen, and just gotta keep on going, and the support, the people that you surround yourself with have to have the same vision as you do, because then if they don't, then it's like a band, it's
absolutely. I totally agree with you. And you mentioned support. I just want to say this. I have gotten so much support, whether that would be from people I don't know, or whether that would be with people that I knew, that people I went to school with, people I knew from here, people I knew from hockey, people I knew from whatever it may be in my life. None of what I've done would have been possible if the amount of people that didn't support me. I love and respect all of those people.
Yeah.
I respond back to every single comment and every single message that people leave me, whether that's on YouTube, whether that's on Instagram.
Is that right?
Every single comment I get back to. I have around 400 comments on the Michael Franzese video, and I've gotten back to each and every single one because those people are taking the time to support me. And I will support those people for the rest of my life until I'm physically unable to do it, And I thank you to all the people that I went to school with. I knew from here and there. You guys take time out of your day. You guys comment on my posts. You guys share my posts. You guys watch my work. I love you guys. And,
no, that's
I appreciate, I see it. And anything that anyone needs from me, or they want to reach out to me, whatever that may be, 24/7, I'm available, guys.
That's crazy. Hey, look, I wish you the best of luck, Shane. And
I wish you the best, George.
Thank you, man. And it was a pleasure having you on Buzz Talk Live. And George, to find you, please subscribe to According to, with the number 2, Shane, all one word.
All together. Yep.
All together on YouTube. You could find his content up there. His the interviews, the clips that I've shown. They're great interviews. And there's more to come. You got
full time. We're doing this full time now. We're pushing the pedal. We're hitting the metal with the pedal right now, and we're going full speed with this.
Full speed ahead, my friend.
Subscribe to Buzz Talk Live, and we got a wonderful host here, George, who's the done all this, through the pandemic. He's got a great setup here. It's a lot of hard work, and I know this because I'm in the same business. It is not easy, and it's, George, you're doing a wonderful job.
Thank you. No, look, I mean, that's one thing that we do share, Shane, is the pandemic and how it formed our lives, really. I mean, in two different directions, but in the same direction, actually, if you think about it. And I forgot to mention that the documentary was made during the pandemic, right?
Yes, it was made during the pandemic. When I went to Las Vegas mid-December, that was, they were
it was a ghost town.
It was, and COVID numbers were through the roof. It was horrible. It was just a devastating time. They barely even let me go to Vegas because it's more than 190 miles or something like that. And I think they were telling people not to.
Yeah.
I went to Vegas more than once. We set up that interview with Michael here again in the highest peak of the pandemic. So and Anthony DeColodro came from Boston. We got very lucky, and we got very fortunate to, I guess, push this through and get this done in the middle of a pandemic.
Yeah. And that recently came out like a couple of weeks ago.
A couple of weeks ago. Yeah, it just came out.
Yeah.
And I promise to send more of those your way, everybody. Because, people
absolutely. Go look for it on According to Number 2 Shane. All one word on YouTube.
There we go.
And check him out on Real Shane on Instagram.
That's it.
And
reach out to me, guys. Anything you need, anything you want to talk about.
Yep. Good stuff. He's out there for you. He's a good man. Thanks, Shane.
George, no, thank you. My pleasure.
All right, buddy. Hey, wow. Again, another great guest, and what can I say about Shane? He has the passion. That's a theme going through this whole show is passion. And, I tell you, it's going to weigh out. I mean, what he's doing at such a young age it's just going to open a lot of doors for him in what he does, and making now a filmmaker and doing his talk show. So so check him out. Definitely check him out on his YouTube channel. According to Number 2 Shane, all one word, on YouTube. So yeah, go there and check him out. Hey, my next show is going to be on June 27th with retired Marine. He's from the Marine Corps, a retired Marine Corps veteran, and he goes by the name Country. And he's from Tennessee, and he's big on TikTok. He has a lot to say with plenty of stories from his time in serving our country in Iraq. So check that show out on June 27th, right here on the Buzz Talk Live show. And you can find me on my Buzz Talk Live channel on YouTube. So subscribe there, and subscribe on Shane's channel as well. Ring the bell and you get notified when we go live. Shane, do you go live?
Do I go live on YouTube?
Do you go live on YouTube?
I've never done it on YouTube, but I go live on Instagram a lot.
Live on Instagram? Okay, so there you go. Yeah. There's new information.
Yeah.
He goes live on Instagram, and that's how I found him, actually. He was talking to Big Time Tommy. And so I was like, look at these two knuckleheads. I gotta get one of these guys on the show.
Yeah.
So check them out and follow these guys. They're really cool, and what can I say? So that's all for tonight, folks. Thanks. I really appreciate you hanging in there. I know it's late. We had a little issues technically, but
we get through them, George. That's all that matters.
We'll get through. I got on the air. I didn't want to delay this any more than it had to be. But thanks for hanging in there, everybody, and I appreciate it. So that's all for tonight, folks.